Hey guys, my name is Christopher and you're watching The Photo Department. Today I am drinking the Big City Blend by De La Paz, which is a coffee roasted in the Bay Area, actually by 4 Barrel. And I picked this up this morning from my friends at Sub Rosa on Martin Luther King and 40th in Oakland. And it's very good. It's very typical of the kind of coffee that 4 Barrel roasts, and I'm enjoying it quite a bit. I wanted to cover what's in my bag. Here's my bag. It is pretty heavy, but it's good. I'm going to go over what I bring on a typical shoot, all the gear that I need, and the cameras, and miscellaneous stuff. This is the Think Tank Airport Commuter, and the other bag that I use is this guy, who I love very much. This is the Ona Brixton in Field Tan. I've had this for a couple of years. I use this when I'm doing short portrait shoots or anything that doesn't need a ton of gear. I could just toss a body or two in here, a couple lenses, my laptop, and I'm ready to go. But everything I'm going to talk about in the Think Tank bag can go in here. This is just a pared down version of what goes in here. So, what is in my bag? Okay, you'll probably notice first off there's a big hole in the middle. That is usually where my Fuji X Pro 2 lives, but it is currently filming this episode, so I can't show it to you. Pentax 6.7, my favorite portrait setup in medium format. I did a little review on this last week. That lives on the bottom with the 105 2.4 attached and the Talbot & Sons strap that I had made custom for me. Next is the Canon F1, which was given to me by Christine. This is my favorite 35mm SLR. That's got the 50mm FD f1.4 lens on it currently. That thing has crazy depth of field. It's a fantastic camera, great lens. Then I have some lenses for my Fuji. This first one's a 35mm f2. This is typically what I'm using for most things. It's a 50mm angle of view. So it's a really great all-around lens. I use it for portraits, product stuff, pretty much anything. It's a really great lens. Then I have this Pentax M42 screw mount 50mm lens, f1.4, and that is about a 75mm focal length when attached to the Fuji, and that is a really great portrait lens, or something I use a lot for video, for close-ups, for detail shots, or something, you know, if I want a portrait or a photo that's going to be really beautiful and really like has its own feel, this lens really feels very special on that camera, so I use that a lot. And then I have extra batteries. I typically carry 4 to 6 extra batteries, and this is the Wasabi Power dual battery charger. I got that on Amazon for probably like $20, and it's really fantastic. I know people are wary of using cheap batteries with their Fuji cameras or any other system, but I can assure you after 2 years of using the Wasabi Power batteries that these batteries are great. They last about a year until they start bulging, and then I typically toss them, or I'll put them in a drawer and use them as like extreme case backups, but other than that, really fantastic. I also carry a battery charger with some IKEA batteries. They have all fallen off the charger, but that's okay. So they're all just sitting around in here, floating around. But these I use for my flashes or for anything else that takes AA batteries, and they're actually really great. They're cheap, the charger's cheap, they last a long time, they're really great. And then here's some film I had with my Canon camera. It's the Fuji 1600 Natura, which is one of my favorite films, and they are discontinuing it next year. So it's really expensive. I want to buy a bunch of it, but you know, probably not going to be able to, but I'm going to enjoy it while I can. Next, here's a ColorChecker by X-Rite. Use this when I'm shooting digital to make sure that all of my pictures are consistent as far as color, and this thing's really great. It just folds up small and fits in the bag anywhere. And this is my SD card wallet. It just has SD cards in it, which is not that exciting. Film. A bunch of film. This is some expired Pentax Plus from Kodak. Got some Ektar, which is my favorite all-around film. Portra 400, which is also a fantastic film. I used to shoot a lot of Fuji, especially the Pro 400H, but that film is super expensive, and so I reserve that for special occasions only nowadays, and so I shoot a lot of Portra these days, especially a lot of Ektar. Ektar is very cheap for some reason, so I shoot a crap load of it. Here is my Sekonic light meter, the LM358 or the L358. I got this for pretty cheap on Craigslist, about 150 bucks. And until you have a light meter, you don't really realize how much you really need a light meter. I trust the light meter in my cameras, but honestly, this has saved my butt plenty of times when I've wanted to really make sure my exposures were dead on. So I carry this with me everywhere. I use that when I use film or digital, doesn't matter. I have these baby pony clips and some gaff tape because obvious reasons. Sometimes you just need to clip or tape something on set, and you better have some tape or clips or you're screwed. I also have this little guy, the Giottos little rocket sprayer air thing. Is fantastic. I bring this everywhere with me. I have two of them, one at my desk at home for when I'm scanning negatives, and one in my bag so that I can blow dust off the sensor of my camera or make sure that my lenses are clean or like anything else. I use this thing all the time. It's really great, and they're very, very inexpensive. Definitely should get a couple of those. And then here, this is the trigger for my flashes, and this is my Yongnuo 563 flash. I have 3 of these, and I also have a Luma Pro Flash that I use with them in slave mode. These flashes are great. I typically will take one with me on a job, and the trigger just in case. You never know if you just need a little bit of light to be brought into the scene. You can correct it with some gels or in post, whatever, if you need to do daylight or mixed lighting, but they're great, so I carry one with me at least whenever I shoot. This other stuff is not that exciting. My LaCie hard drive, I think this is 1 terabyte. I need to get a couple more of these, but this is pretty rugged. It's the USB 3.0 version because I am behind the times, but it works great. I have a moleskin and a photo memo book. These photo memo books are sweet. They're made by Shoot Film Co. My friend Mike makes them, and they are really fantastic for writing down your settings for when you're shooting film, or just whatever kind of notes you want to write when you're shooting. I use it all the time. He gave me a pack of them, so I've been going through them like crazy. This is actually a planner, so I put all my shoots and stuff in there. This is really great. I love this thing. This is the Mophie charger. This guy holds, I don't know how much, but it holds a lot of power. I can charge my phone, I think, 3 times on this before it dies. I bring this on shoots with me everywhere because I can also plug in my battery chargers and charge my batteries for my X Pro 2 if I really need to. I've done it a couple of times on set, and it's really saved my butt when I haven't had access to wall power. So that's really great. I usually use it to charge my phone on planes or on trips, and I've used it a lot. It's really great. I recommend getting one. They're super cheap. I got it for I think 30 bucks. Really great. And then in here, these are some Luma Pro color effect and color correction gels that came with the Luma Pro Flash that I have. It's a really great flash, but I don't always use it with this system because it doesn't have a trigger. I use it as a slave if I'm using all of my flashes. I do use the Luma Pro gels. I can just like tape them to the top of my Luma Pro, or I'm sorry, I can tape them to the top of my Yongnuo Flashes, and they work great. The Luma Pro actually has a gel holder in the top of it, which is really convenient. Now let's look at the front. This doesn't need any explanation, I don't think. Phone charger. This is really interesting. This is actually a space pen. It is a pressurized cartridge that goes in there, and what it does is you can write upside down, you can write in zero gravity, you can write underwater. It's very cool. I use that everywhere. I don't need those capabilities typically, but it's kind of nice to know I have it if I need it. And then I have pens, pencils, I got a cleaning wipe in there. And here, I carry the smaller, newer 5-in-1 reflector. These are really cheap on Amazon, but they're super, super good. I have 2 of them. This is the smaller one. I take it with me everywhere because you never know. And then my laptop, obvious reasons. It's a MacBook Air. It's old, it's fairly beat up, but it works really great. It's actually faster than my desktop. I use it all the time. It's great. That's what's in my bag. All that stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I did not. No, yeah, I did. Thank you guys for watching. I really hope that it was interesting to see the kind of gear that I'm using when I'm out shooting. If you want to leave a comment and tell me about the gear that you're using, that would be really cool. I love reading about that stuff and talking about it with people. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's @ghostphoto. And if you have any questions or suggestions, or you just want to say hi, you can email me hello@ghostphotographics.com. If you want to buy a print, I'm now selling those on my website and through Instagram. So if you want to email me, send me a DM, or you can leave a comment. And if you're interested in purchasing a print, we can talk about which you'd like to purchase and whatever else. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.